Hey guys, and Happy New Year. I wanted to do a series starting this new year about mastering the starch solution. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that struggle with just going all in and giving it 100% all of the time. And that is definitely my boat. And so I know if there's a lot of people like me that maybe going slower or finding some alternatives and not like beating yourself up for not getting 100% would be helpful. So if you have watched any videos on how to start the starch solution, or if you read the book, you maybe know what to eat and what to avoid. But if you're kind of new, sorry, my daughter's going crazy out there. If you are kind of new to the starch solution and you don't really know the ins and outs, I definitely recommend getting the books. I have the starch solution right here, and then also the McDougall program for maximum weight loss. And a lot of the YouTube influencers kind of base their like plate and building their plate around this book, and they do mention it in the starch solution. But the difference is the starch solution doesn't necessarily tell you exactly what to eat, like ratio wise, where the maximum weight loss does a like 50-50 plate, or 45, 45, and then 10, and the 10% being fruit. When you start the starch solution, you are told to avoid certain foods. You want to avoid animal products like meat and dairy, and then also any oils. And then on top of that, you want to use certain foods sparingly, and that's anything that's super high in fat, like avocado or nuts, seeds, nut butters, anything that has a lot of over fat. I know that that can sound very intimidating, especially if you're coming from a normal standard American diet, or if you are eating like paleo or something that's really centered around like protein. And so what I kind of learned through my transition over to the starch solution, or just in general with a plant-based diet, which I started many years ago, was to focus on eating vegetables. And so that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about this week, is just eating your vegetables. And I know there are lots of people that post in a lot of the forums and on like Reddit and Facebook that they don't like vegetables and they don't really know what to do. So just find a couple that you like. You can find one that you like and then eat that just at every meal. And it doesn't have to be a whole half of a plate, but if you're starting to eat more of the vegetables, you're going to be crowding out other things that you're trying to avoid. So you don't have to go full force 100% and give up all the other foods. You can slowly just make a habit of eating vegetables. And for me, that has really helped my like compliance and staying consistent. And so what I do is in the morning, I have some steamed cabbage usually, and I always kind of eat the same vegetables over and over just because I know I like them and I know how to make them and it's fast for me. I eat that before I eat my oats. And for lunch, I usually have like a salad or broccoli. And so I always try to eat my vegetables before my other food because it starts to fill you up. And not only does vegetables help in aid in weight loss, but they are super good for you. So you get all of the fiber and the water content, plus all the vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. And so in a whole like wellness, holistic kind of being, you want to eat vegetables for so many reasons. There are a few different ways to prepare vegetables, and the easiest one by far is buying them frozen and in steamable bags. You can just throw them in the microwave and put them in there for about 5 minutes, and then you have a wonderful side, and very little cleanup, very easy, and not much mental space to do it. I personally like using that, or I steam my vegetables a lot. So I have one of those little metal steamers that I just throw in a pot, like a little bit of water, and I steam my vegetables, depending on what it is, between 5 and 7 minutes. You can also water saute your vegetables. Usually if you're sauteing something, you're going to use oil, but we are trying to avoid oil. So starting out, if you don't think you can do that, just use a lot less, measure it out. But water sauteing, it works really great. You can do it in broth, and I use like the Better Than Bouillon vegetable or the like roasted garlic one, and it is delicious. And then also, of course, you can eat them fresh and raw. So I do a lot of salads. If you have one of those hand choppers, I think XOXO makes a really good one, then you can hand chop up some carrots and broccoli and onion and just throw them on top of a salad and eat that with whatever you're having. With salad dressings, you want to try to avoid really like fat laden ones, so ones with lots of oil. But if you were just starting out, just trying to get those vegetables in is really going to help you be consistent and build those habits. There are some vegetables that are really good roasted. Roasting your vegetables takes out some of the water, so I tend to not do roasting a ton, but I do love to roast carrots, onions, and mushrooms. With anything that's starchier, like a carrot, you want to kind of steam it first because you're not going to be using oil to keep that moisture in. But roasted vegetables are very delicious, and I highly recommend them, especially if you have the time. You definitely don't need to have a variety of vegetables that you eat every day. I kind of eat the same few like throughout the week, and that's usually green beans, broccoli, just greens, and sometimes I'll throw in an onion or carrots or whatever. But when you are starting out, it is much easier to find a couple that you like and just eat those repetitively. So if you like broccoli, you can have broccoli in the morning, afternoon, and night. If you are still kind of wary on eating veggies in the morning, then just try to really do it at lunch and dinner or whenever you have your afternoon meals. So really what the point of this week should be is just to get those veggies in. You want to make sure that you're getting lots of them, you're filling up, and you're exposing yourself to something that is going to be beneficial in the long run, not just for your looks, but for your health total. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you don't feel intimidated starting the Starch solution. I feel like it's a very great way of eating, and I am so happy that I found it, and I really want to share it with everybody that has struggled with their weight. Sorry, my daughter's yelling out there. Anyone that has struggled with their weight or the diet culture or just that mentality of always being on a diet and obsessing about food, this has freed my mind so much, and just kind of my whole life eating this way. And so I really want to share. And remember, don't try to be perfect. Just do what you can and really aim on just crowding out some of the other foods. And if you don't feel like you can go all in, or you feel defeated after a couple days of going all in, then just focus on getting your vegetables. That is the one thing I want you guys to work on this week. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful first week of the new year, and thanks again.